To D.C. now, where hundreds of people took part in a nationwide walkout.
Yeah, this is all to mark 1 year since President Trump took office.
Today, protesters took to the streets in Grand Rapids as part of a nationwide walkout protesting the Trump administration.
1 minute ago, something massive just rippled through America, but you probably didn't see it explained clearly. Today, hundreds of thousands of Americans walked out of schools, workplaces, and stores across all 50 states, not for a holiday, not for a sporting event, but in direct protest of President Donald Trump's second-term policies, especially the escalating ICE immigration crackdown and federal enforcement actions that have seared public outrage. This wasn't just another rally, it was a coordinated Free America Walkout. Millions of people hitting pause on their daily lives at 2 p.m. local time to send one message: this is not normal. Most media are calling it protests, but what actually just unfolded was a nationwide withdrawal of labor, participation, and commerce, the everyday power most people take for granted. Today, you're going to finally understand what triggered this, why it exploded now, and what it means for your future. It starts with a very specific timeline. Here's what actually happened, in order. In the last 24 hours, the Free America Walkout went from hashtag to nationwide action. Coalitions led by Women's March, 5051 activists, student groups, labor unions, and local organizers activated walkouts in hundreds of cities, from Washington, D.C. to Houston, Minneapolis, San Diego, and Miami. People left work and school at 2 p.m., marched to city halls and federal buildings, held rallies, and marched, not just in big cities, but in small towns too. This wasn't random. It was timed exactly 1 year after Donald Trump took office for his second term. And it wasn't just about a protest, it was a strategic strike on daily life. Why this suddenly exploded right now?
Walk out! Walk out! We want freedom! Freedom! Only 70s!
Two things changed this week. First, the political and emotional trigger. The ICE crackdown in Minnesota and across the U.S. has surged into public outrage. DHS deployed thousands of federal agents, and reports show over 2,400 arrests tied to these enforcement operations, including the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good by an ICE agent during a raid in Minneapolis. That incident became the spark plug people could not ignore. Suddenly, abstract policy became real loss, real death, real fear. Second, activists chose today, a weekday, as a tactical shift. Walkouts during work hours cost something. Pulling out of classrooms and jobs disrupts the economy and attention cycle instead of just weekend chants. That's the escalation you're seeing now. How this affects real people, not just politics. This isn't about slogans, it's about consequences. Millions of dollars in economic participation paused as workers and students walked out. Families with undocumented members fear deportation. Community networks are strained as hospitals, schools, and businesses lose staff midday. Students are losing class time. Parents are risking jobs to protest enforcement that targets families like theirs. For everyday Americans, your paycheck, your access to public services, your local school, all of these things were impacted by millions of decisions made in Washington. This wasn't abstract policy anymore. It hit the routine of everyday life. Who benefits, who pays, and how the system allows it. Who benefits from these walkouts? Activist coalitions gain attention and leverage. Progressive organizers build momentum ahead of the 2026 midterms. Tech workers and labor unions amplify pressure on institutions. Who pays? Low-wage workers might lose wages for walking out. Small businesses see midday slowdowns. Local services buckle under sudden staffing gaps. Immigrant families live with heightened fear and uncertainty. This dynamic isn't accidental, it's structural. A decentralized coalition mobilized without relying on mainstream media, meaning traditional outlets are behind the curve while activists shaped the narrative on the streets. The key revelation, the moment it all clicked. This walkout was not spontaneous. Organizers had over 800 events planned across all 50 states with tens of thousands of participants before today, not just after the ICE news broke. That tells you something important. This wasn't a protest born from one event. It was a year-long buildup of frustration, organization, and strategic escalation. That's why this moment didn't fizzle, it burst. What happens next, realistically? Expect three things: political fallout, Republican messaging will fracture as immigration enforcement becomes a wedge issue, hurting GOP appeal in key Senate races. Counter-movements. Expect conservative groups to launch their own actions, framing this as unpatriotic or unproductive. Election impact. With 2026 midterms months away, this could shift turnout, not just opinion. But here's the bottom line. If policymakers ignore the economic and civic disruption this caused, the next walkout won't be just one afternoon, it will be weeks. Final verdict: why this matters. This walkout reveals something fundamental about America today. Decisions made in Washington have real economic, social, and personal consequences for you, not someday, but today. This isn't fringe dissent, it's coordinated, strategic, and widespread. If the government continues to enact policies that millions of people feel threaten their rights, families, and futures, those millions won't just march, they'll withdraw their consent and participation, and that's a different level of pressure. Share this, talk about it, comment with clarity, not confusion, because understanding is the first step to change. If you want the real story, not the noise,